All right, so welcome to Thursday Morning Breakfast. I'm glad you guys are here, those that are here live and online. We appreciate it. So we're going to have a really powerful, insightful conversation with Brother Shaka Thomas, who's named after the ancient Egyptian deities of vitality and destiny. Brother Shaka says, quote, "Our food should empower us." Amen. Yet today's corporate supplies often fall short, filled with unhealthy chemicals for the sake of profits. By reclaiming the knowledge of homegrown food, we can restore our vitality and take control of our lives. By embracing the life-enhancing benefits of local agriculture, we can take back control over the most important aspects of our lives, the decision and understanding of what goes into our bodies. Amen and ashe. So what I like to say and remind our people of is that those that feed you can control you. And oftentimes they use that food that they're feeding you to poison you. So we have to keep in mind that our ultimate goal is to put ourselves in a position to own and control the spaces where we live. If we allow other people to control those spaces, then we're going to continue to lose because they don't have our best interests at heart. So this morning, at this morning's Thursday morning breakfast, we're going to talk about a very absolutely vital part of that control, which is having our own food. So on that note, we're going to bring up Brother Shaka Thomas. He's going to break it down to us. Thank you for coming, brother. Appreciate you. All right.
Hey everybody, good morning. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Shaka coming from Eden Growth Systems. At Eden Growth Systems, we are an aeroponics company here based out of Houston, Texas, using NASA-based technology in order to give the ability for indoor grow operations to happen here in the state. We have a office location at 808 Travis Street. You guys are always welcome to come downtown, see how we do and what we do, so we can have a better conversation of how do we move forward in being able to get everybody to the stage and position they need to be in to rely more on themselves for food consumption and food growth than the public depots from food, being the different grocery stores that you're able to grab food from. One of the major issues that we have with our food system is that in order for these companies to continue to amass profits quarter over quarter, they like to put things into our foods that allow them to do it at a cheaper and cheaper cost basis while also raising the prices on us. Now, if we want to be able to move away from that type of system, we need to be able to have spaces within the city, within our homes, within our communities that allow us to actually provide food for ourselves. That's one of the big missions here at Eden, is that we're trying to give that to you guys in order to change how we look at the future. What we are really noticing now is that with all of the different weather patterns that we're starting to witness here, we're seeing that the food yields are actually dropping as weather patterns change, as one area gets more rain than the other, as these harmful farming practices take their toll on the food systems. We're starting to receive less and less yield, meaning that we're needing to get really creative when it comes to these large scale food productions, whether that be adding in more chemicals, whether that be being able to bioengineer foods. And when we talk about all these different things that the food industrial complex is using in order to increase the yields, this is all very detrimental for our health. Of course, they're not really looking at our health as a part of their profits, but they're willing to increase the cost on us in order for us to continue to consume their foods. Now, I do want to be able to plant a seed in you today, and hopefully that does grow into action within you guys, and that is being able to invest into your communities. That's the big thing that we're attempting to do here. Not only provide an indoor agricultural structure, but also provide a community agricultural structure that allows for individuals to go into their communities. I know that as you're traveling around your local community, your area that you're normally in, that you see abandoned areas that have no other use but to be there and look abandoned. These are all areas in which that we can actually use in order to facilitate that substitute substitution in the community grown agriculture. When we start to take back the ability of or the usefulness of our local areas in order to provide us food, we bring back the power of agriculture. We bring back the power of food creation and consumption back into the local areas, which it always needs to be. We have a society that was basically centered around agriculture. This is where we started to develop our towns when the human race was beginning to flourish. It developed around agriculture. Over the last 120 something years, we've been getting more acclimated to city life. And that acclimation to city life has removed that ability for us to grow our own foods in the sake of maximizing profit within that city area. Since then, we've noticed a bunch of different changes within our society that has been the cause of all the different crimes, all the different health concerns, education concerns. When you remove that food from a population and have them wholly subsidized on food from 200, 300, 400 miles away, then you start to introduce things that we have never seen within the human species, the human community before. Again, this is totally new for us. We haven't been in a situation ever in history where we would have a major population center that has no local food source. When we started to see the movement happening from the countryside to the cities, it was okay as long as it was a small amount of people. But as we start to see, we have more millions and millions of individuals within a given area, but no possible way of sustaining that entire population. We have seen what issues arise from that. We want to be able to be that solution to focus in on that ability to solve those problems of food of the local economy. Now, one of the things that we actually are able to see once an individual, once the community is able to bring back agricultural skills and knowledge into their community is that number one, you do have food resilience. You're able to weather a storm if you're not able to pay for food, if you're not able to get food from the local grocery stores. One of the major benefits of bringing agricultural back to the community is jobs. When we look at what we're needing in the future to support all these major population centers, we're needing local agriculture because we're going to go into a situation in which we have less jobs in one area and more need of jobs in the other. Well, if you look at your ability to grow income and grow jobs, I would say look at the areas that have been most underserved when it comes to being able to employ people. And local agriculture is one of those things. In a city of about 8 million people, I want to say that you probably have around 10,000 people that are actively doing agriculture, 8 million being the population of Houston, Texas. Now, those 10,000 people they don't have the ability to feed 8 million people. They may have the ability to feed 1,000, 2,000 people. But as you start to bring local agriculture back to the community, back to the people, as more individuals get involved in their local food systems, we start to have more food available. That will in turn create more jobs, that would in turn give us an abundance of food. Now, when you're looking at the ability for a community to thrive and survive, food is that number one thing that they need. If you don't eat, you can't go to work. If you don't eat, you can't go to study for school. If you don't eat, you cannot be a positive impact to your community because you're always focused in on where your next meal is going to come from and where the money for your next meal is going to come from. So being able to have a community-oriented structure where you have people in the community that are actively able to produce food on a large-scale basis is a benefit to the community. One of the things that I'm working on with the Eat and Grow systems is being able to work with different schools within the HSID. Right now, what I'm attempting to do with HSID schools is introduce the kids into a STEM program for agriculture. Now, as I'm introducing these kids into STEM agriculture, I'm also giving them the basis to help out their communities in a more immediate way. When I say a more immediate way, I mean that I'm giving these kids an opportunity to feed their communities. It's a much different program than having kids, their first job be going off to work at McDonald's or going off to work at Chick-fil-A or going off to work at the local malls. Our program actually puts the kids to work in order to access more agricultural knowledge, have a opportunity to grow food for their local economy and turn that into a small business for themselves.
Awesome.
When we look at the impact that we need to have on a community, it needs to be instant, especially when it comes to our kids. When we are able to introduce our kids to be more community-minded, civil-minded, it teaches them more lessons in being able to uphold a certain community standard or certain culture when it comes to the next individual. That's one of the major projects that we at Eat and Grow Systems is working on. I'm having a super fun time actually doing that. I do find that kids in STEM programs, they actually love doing it because of the way that our systems are designed. It's a very hands-on thing to where you have to be educated on how to grow the plants correctly and how to do X, Y, and Z in such a way that when you are looking to bring a plant from a seedling to a harvest stage, that you're able to correctly do it. So we're instituting a bunch of different types of knowledge to kids that in the future, we hope to have them able to go out into the community in a successful manner to provide food for their community in order for that to be their first job, to get business understanding, to create ties within the community through food. These are all programs that as we continue to build them out, we are very much looking forward for the kids as they get older to have this become a sustainable system for them. Again, to have that immediate impact on their communities. So that's pretty much all I have. Thank you guys for listening to me for like the last about 10 minutes here. It's been awesome exposing my knowledge to you guys about the agricultural system here in Houston. And again, if you do want to actually learn a bit more about what we do at Eat and Grow Systems, 808 Travis Street downtown is going to be our office location. You're more than welcome to come down. We have 3 rooms at the Neil Esperson building. We have a showroom, we have a retail room, and we have a mega grow room. Those rooms are all open to the public, which we'll be able to show you how we do what we do and how we do it. We'll be very happy to do that for you guys. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, hold on. I got questions.
Oh,
Come back.
I got questions.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. So before I don't want to hog the mic. Do you by chance have any questions you want to ask?
What is your Instagram and
There you go. Touche, brother.
media?
Yeah. How can people reach you, man? Come on.
I totally forgot about that.
Because it's gonna be millions.
You guys can reach us at Eat and Grow Systems. That's Eden, EDEN Grow Systems. That's going to be the hashtag, or that's going to be the account for all of the major social medias: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So you can find us with that.
Cool. All right. Thank you, brother. Good question.
Yeah.
All right. So you before I get to what you were talking about, what led you to Eat and Grow Systems? How do you get to the point where you are? And I think agricultural economist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What is that, and what led you to eating growth systems?
So agriculture economics is just the ability to understand the different markets that come up when you're looking at food placements. So with that, I've always been about one or two individuals away from the owners of Eating Growth Systems. I didn't know it at the time. This happened, I think we launched back in 2020, 2019.
Okay.
One of my friends was connected in with them. He was doing ads for them on his YouTube channel, DAP 2030. And I was introduced to them for the very first time through there. Now, the individual who runs Adapt 2030 is friends with one of my other friends, Derek Rose, who has run for Houston mayor for I think like 2 or 3 times now. And via that connection, I was introduced to Eating Growth Systems. Come to find out, Eating Growth Systems was based here in Houston, Texas. And I didn't find that out until my buddy who runs Tech Fest Live, Khalid Benson, allowed me to host the agricultural exhibit at last year's Tech Fest Live.
Okay.
So by me being able to go to Tech Fest Live, I was introduced to Eating Growth Systems CEO.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how I got in contact with Eating Growth Systems. Again, 1-2 people away, and I find that's the case with most of my connections that I really want to make.
Yeah.
I'm not that far away from the individuals that I want to meet. Take it with like Eating Growth Systems right now. We have funding via the Star Fund, the Space Fund.
Okay.
Space Fund is an
The
investment.
NASA Space Fund?
Not the NASA Space Fund, it's a private investment corporation.
Okay. Okay.
So with that connection, we have so the investment fund that funds us also funds SpaceX.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So not too far away from Elon Musk. Matter of fact, he was at the he was actually at either the building or at our offices like a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
1 or 2 people away from
You get it. You get it. Sell. You get it. Sell. Okay. Did you go to school to become an agricultural economist, or you just happen to find yourself on that path?
So I actually went to U of H.
Okay.
Attempting to now go to Prairie View, getting a couple of other things in line, but because of my economics background, I can now go to Prairie View, Prairie View A&M with a full ride.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
because of the economics background.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. You weren't with Eating Growth Systems when you were at Tech Fest. So what were you doing there? What booth were you manning at Tech Fest if it wasn't for Eating Growth Systems?
So it was for my we have 10 acres up in Montgomery County.
Okay.
That we do.
We Eat and Grow?
No, my separate entity.
Okay, so is there a name for the entity or just the family?
No, it's what is it called?
I don't even know.
Dang.
Shaka Van's land.
No.
Wakanda?
The Happy Camper. Wow.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's your Instagram.
Yeah.
Happy Camper Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Happy Camper Houston, we have 10 acres out there that we're doing kind of like I want to call it like a farm farming simulation.
Okay.
To the point to where we have a farm-based resort, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Because we have a couple of chickens up there, we have areas for individuals to come and grow food.
Okay.
We have, we're building a farmer's market up there as well.
Wow.
So we're doing a lot of different things up there, and that was one of the reasons why I was included in the Tech Fest. Is
Okay.
as we are attempting to build out the land up there, and as we are attempting to get more individuals to come out there and experience what it is to actually be able to have that ability to have your chickens, grow
Mhm.
your food, do other things when it comes to being able to provide for yourself.
Yeah.
We want to be able to give individuals that experience, and it's on 10 acres.
Mhm.
So we have a pond out there. We're building some tiny homes.
Is that geared
as
toward adults or adults and youth or anything?
adults and youth.
Okay.
But we're building a couple of tiny homes out there.
Mhm.
So like I said, it's a farming simulation,
Yeah.
farming type of
That's
resort
awesome.
kind of
Is it
situation.
an overnight kind of thing or is it just a one day, all day kind of thing?
No, so when we're able to finish the tiny homes, those will be able to rent on a different basis, 3 days or 7 days, depending on how long you actually want to be out there
Mhm.
and see what we have to teach you.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. My next question is that you mentioned aeroponics. Most people don't know, including myself, what it is. So what is aeroponics?
So aeroponics is going to be more at an advanced level than hydroponics, right?
Okay.
So they're the same thing, but with hydroponics, you're dealing with bigger droplets of water.
Okay.
With aeroponics, you're dealing with more of a misting system. And the thing about what NASA found out was that when you get the water to a specific size,
Mhm.
it is more optimal for plants to grow because it allows for the nutrients, the water to be absorbed in a more efficient way.
Okay.
And with that being more efficient, you're saving about 95% more water. And then you're also giving the plants exactly what they need to the point to where the plants actually grow about 15% faster.
Okay.
So if you're looking at what you can do in a greenhouse versus what you can do in one of our systems, yes, in a greenhouse you're able to grow year round,
Mhm.
but in our systems you're actually able to grow year round, and you're actually able to grow faster as well.
Okay.
So that's one of the benefits of aeroponics versus hydroponics is you're able to get more vigorous plants because the roots grow a lot longer because that plant is absorbing more nutrients, and for absorbing more nutrients, it grows a lot faster as well.
Okay. Have you by any chance seen the movie Martian with Matt
Uh,
Damon? Have you seen that movie Martian?
Say no.
Have you seen? You guys should watch that movie. I'm a Matt Damon fan from Born Identity, but he's a good actor. In that movie, he's an astronaut. He gets things don't go right when he goes to. I'm not sure if he's going to Mars or the
Mars.
moon.
He's at Mars.
He's on Mars, yeah.
He's stuck on Mars.
Yeah, he's stuck on Mars. And the science, when I watched that movie, I'm like, damn, I need to learn more. The science that he uses to survive is mind blowing, but it's all real science.
Mhm.
So I was thinking when I saw it, I watched it twice. I was thinking this is a movie that kids need to see because most young people don't make the connection between science and real life because we don't really see it.
So we're
But that
actually,
was an awesome movie. If you haven't seen, you should watch it.
I have, but it's been a minute. I usually don't watch movies more than one time, but
Okay.
I've seen it. Actually, we're trying to be one of the companies that actually does go to Mars when they do go off. I know NASA
With SpaceX or with NASA?
with Eat and Grow System and
No, I'm saying, who will you be going to Mars with?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're actually vying to become one of those companies. NASA actually just released a paper, I want to say about 2 days ago, where
Okay.
they're starting to commercialize more the aspects of being able to go to Mars. So that
Wow.
opens the door up for us
Wow.
to actually go there. But one of the things that we have to do before that even happens is
Mhm.
we have to be able to show that we're able to
Grow.
have those machines
Yeah.
in use here
Okay.
before they actually go off to Mars.
Okay.
So that's one of the big missions, is to be able to get these machines in everywhere possible.
Mm-hmm.
That gives us the best chance at actually being able to.
Everywhere as far as different environments or just having a large client base? What do you mean?
So in order for this to be used on Mars,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get accustomed to it here. 'Cause
Okay.
if you're not
On
accustomed
Earth.
to using it here,
Yeah.
then what's the point of using it on Mars?
That's right. That's right.
So we're basically trying to get as many people, of course, with any business, to be acclimated to the machines as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That way, when we eventually do go to Mars, it'll be more second nature
Okay.
for the astronauts, for regular individuals, to actually be able to enter into a non-hospitable climate for plants and be able to use the machines to turn that to hospitable.
What's the timeline for them to go and take you guys with them?
They were always pushing it back. It was supposed to be 2025.
Okay.
Now we're looking at 2030.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a pushback.
Yeah, it's only 5 years. Like, that's a blink of an eye, really.
Okay.
Talk about space, huh?
Yeah. Seems like a long time to me, but okay. I guess so. Please do. We don't want no Martian situation. Okay, so I'm assuming that pushback is a good thing for you guys because it just gives you more time.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this wasn't one of my questions, but when you mentioned it, that movie just came to mind. Because I have a question. If you remember the movie as far as, okay. So Matt Damon, growing food, surviving, more aquaponics, hydroponics, or aeroponics, or a little bit of all three. And for us, what he was doing to survive and grow his own food. And I know you might not remember because it was a long time ago.
What I remember about that is he had trouble growing it in the dirt.
Yes.
So he ended up finding out that he mixed his wastewater and his wastage
Mm-hmm.
with the soil, he was able to get the potatoes to grow.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the only thing that I remember.
Okay.
Water.
They had residual in the
In the spaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spaceship.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good movie. You should
Yeah,
watch it.
I'm definitely.
Yeah, I'm very. As a matter of fact, I am. Hopefully, I can have this done by October. We used to have every other week we would have an online documentary or movie review where we'd assign our members a documentary or movie to watch, and then we would talk about it. Because most people don't realize that there's a lot you can learn about this system, how it works, how people maneuver from certain movies and documentaries. So that's most certainly one of the ones that we probably should watch, and then have the youth understand. They have you come in and speak, and we were doing it online via Zoom because there's a lot that you can learn if it's the right documentary or movie.
You always gotta realize they're putting a picture in front of you for a very specific reason.
Oh, amen.
They're not gonna put a picture in front of you and not expect you to not absorb something from it.
Right.
So when you're looking at different, that's one of the reasons why I don't listen to I listen to rap, but I really don't.
Mhm.
Like, I haven't, like, especially when it comes like to the radio and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's
not
like,
the same.
why are you saying all this on the radio? It's like, yo,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can be saying, like, I understand free speech and all that, but
Yeah,
like,
but
you
this
on
some
the
BS,
radio,
yeah.
like,
That
nah.
speech not free. That's why.
Yeah. and they're planting seeds, but of course, it's not the kind of seed that we want to be planting.
Yeah.
Pay for it.
No doubt. Yeah.
Pay
Yeah.
for advertising.
Yeah, and as it relates to rap music specifically, when I told you I changed my name in the military,
Yeah.
the rap that I listened to growing up
Oh,
literally led me to the library because I wanted to know what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah.
So from Chuck D to Last Poet to X Clan, I mean, I was like, what the hell is
like,
what?
going on?
And so I was literally, man, listening to rap, going to the library on base
Yeah.
to check out books.
Okay.
So today's rap ain't,
I'm like,
sex, money, and murder. It's a different, and of course we don't need a new niggas, man. We really don't.
Like, I have a strong appreciation for rap, probably pre-19, a little bit of 1990s, but definitely pre-1990s.
Yeah, it was different.
Because,
Yeah, it was different.
You got
Exactly.
more of a better message from it than
Yeah.
you got.
It was a positive message. It was community, have a good time, go to the party, get the girl. It wasn't kill your brother.
Actually, Kendrick just dropped a song, like, talking about all of that, bro, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like the different segments of rap, because I remember back in probably 2001, it was like women, money, cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then from women, money, cars, it was women in such a way that was like, I got this female that I'm really committed to, that I really like.
Yeah.
And then it went to, man, I just get all these females, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then it went straight to, I think we either had like gangster rap or it went to drugs. I think the drugs part was more recent. So you had the gangster rap era, and then you had the rappers that are on drugs era. So it was like, seeing how they did that, it was like, yo, y'all definitely got a message that y'all want us to absorb. And it's like,
and it worked.
It worked. But that's what I'm saying. Like I definitely like the at least like the 90s hip hop and R&B, like especially like a song with J. Cole and not J. Cole, Ja Rule and not Janet, the Hispanic chick. Dang, I forgot her name. Jennifer, no. Dang, I forgot her name.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And speaking of movies and imagery and Matt Damon, have you guys by any chance, you probably haven't seen it because you don't watch movies. The movie Elysium, have you seen that?
I seen it.
You seen it? Okay. So movies, imagery, and Elon Musk in particular, this is amazing. If you look at the space station in Elysium that Matt Damon is trying to get to, that everybody goes to get healing, and people that have money, look at that and then Google Elon Musk space station. They're identical.
For real?
They are identical. So that really makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what kind of imagery and seeds are they planting? And are they really planning to, leave folks here and go live somewhere else, which I wouldn't doubt at all.
Well, I would say not, because we can kind of see that happening already, to where, so Houston has new suburb developments going on, right?
Okay.
So you have these older developments here that they really can't do anything with because, number one, they can't really get too many taxes from the individuals living here because they don't make enough money.
Right.
The previous suburbs, well, those are already pretty much set in stone, so they can't really do anything with those. They're actually developing new suburbs now, where they're calling agri-hoods.
Okay.
Now, these agri-hoods are suburbs in which they allow individuals to either have agricultural component to their suburbs.
Okay.
The agricultural component could be they have a straight 100 acres set out where individuals can come get a plot of land, learn about agriculture. As they buy a piece of land, they can have other people come out and take care of their food for them. They have farmers markets within the suburbs. I know one of the suburbs is actually getting rid of the fence lines and turning those and like personal backyards and turning that into more community structured backyards to where they have different types of food growing.
Is there a community like that in the Woodlands? Because there was a woman named Teresa, Indian woman, short Indian woman, who was at Brother Ephraim's Labor Day camp, and she was talking about a community. I'm pretty sure it's in the Woodlands.
I know they have one in Michigan.
Mission Bend, that was it, and it's connected. What you're describing is what they have. So I'm assuming you haven't heard of it.
I know you have Harvest Green, and then I know you have a new one.
I think that was the name of it, Harvest Green. Yeah. So that sounds like it's what you're describing. That's not it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it is more.
So, but with those areas come, yes, you'll be able to move there, but your taxes are going to be.
You got to have money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see where now they're starting to separate them, because like when you move into these areas now, you're going to have the food that some of the food that you need located inside your suburbs.
Yeah.
And like even if you go to like suburbs in like Nevada or whatnot, you have completely gated off suburbs to where they have their grocery stores.
They have everything they need. It's self-sufficient.
inside of a gated community.
Yeah,
to
but
where
you ain't getting it.
never- Yeah, you
Yeah.
never have to leave the gates.
You can check that box, but they're not gonna let you in. All right. So real quick before I get to my next question, have you guys have heard of the rap group Arrested Development? I know they're a little older. You have. You heard Arrested Development?
Familiar.
Yeah, conscious rap is my generation. So the brother has the brother, I think his name is the lead rapper. I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna send you guys the link. He has a YouTube, I think it's maybe a mini series, like 4 or 5 shows called The Nigga Factory. That's what it's called, Nigga Factory. And what you're talking about as far as the devolvement as opposed to evolvement of music, he talks about that in one of his shows, and he clearly lays out how it went from the kind of rap that he was making and producing, and how they didn't want him to be a part of it because, of course, he was conscious, trying to make the community better, and how they embraced and promoted the gangster rap, the drugs, the sex, and money murder. So it's really interesting, going back to what you said earlier, as far as how they at the table planning and plotting.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, that music and that imagery is a big part of it. So I'm gonna send you guys that link. Y'all can take a look at it. All right, so let me get through these questions. I'm sorry. Okay, so you said you talked about spaces within cities, communities, and homes that can be utilized to grow food. How much space are we talking on average as relates to what's needed? How much space do you need per your system to grow food in your home? What's ideal for the community and, of course, for the city?
So when it comes to our systems, we have developed towers that are about 7 feet tall, about 4 feet wide. They're 7 feet tall, 7 feet tall, 4 feet. I'm not sure how to do the length and the width and everything, but it's about 7 by 4 feet.
Okay.
Those are the systems which we've developed with NASA in order to grow food indoors. Those have the ability to grow anywhere between 16 and 94 plants. We have high volume trays, which allow you to go up to 2.5 acres worth of plants.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with indoor agriculture, it's not much space that's needed. But the beautiful thing about what we have is, say for instance, a really bad thunderstorm, a really bad windstorm comes through, like we had with Hurricane Beryl. We worked with a distributor for Houston, one of the Houston Food Bank. And their farm totally got destroyed because of the wind that actually came into Hurricane Beryl.
Okay.
Because they had a redundant system that's not only the field, the greenhouse, but that's also our systems, which was totally protected because it wasn't in the greenhouse area, which is outside,
right.
a little
It's indoor.
less sturdy. But our systems were located directly indoors, and they were safe indoors, and they continued to have power. So they were actually able to take the plants that they were growing indoors, even though they weren't using a high volume tray, they can supply up to 2.5 acres. They were able to transplant those plants they had sitting indoors, outdoors, as soon as they cleaned up their fields. So it's very important to have some type of redundancy when it comes to what you are attempting to plant, just because you never know what is coming around the corner, which is a big thing in which farmers face. Which is why agricultural insurance is a must whenever you're doing large scale agricultural growth systems, especially when you're not in like the Midwest or California, somewhere where you get lots of wind, lots of rain. And you got to think about these farmers, they spend millions of dollars putting in crops. So if they don't have insurance to cover those crops, and you hit it's a really bad summer storm or spring storm, and they don't have insurance, then they basically lose those crops.
Should that be a redundant system or a primary system?
Redundant.
So it should always be a backup. You should never seek to make your agricultural operation initially indoors. It should always be redundant for the backup plan. Okay, all right. So what's the cost of that initial tower, and if you want to expand from there?
So upfront cost is going to be anywhere between $700 to about $10,000, just depending on which system that you want. We recently just launched a new product with JW Marriott downtown.
Mhm.
It's our tabletop tower system.
Okay,
You guys are freely welcome to go down to JW Marriott, check it out. They're actually using it to grow mints for cocktails that they're
Okay.
offering their clients through happy hour.
okay, which JW Marriott, which one?
The one downtown.
Okay, got it, go ahead.
With that, we also have a lease program to where you can actually put that payment on a monthly schedule for yourself.
Okay.
That way you can have a better ability to afford it.
Yep. And for those that missed the beginning of the show, we're talking to Brother Shaka Thomas with Eden Growth Systems. He is an agricultural economist with the company, and we're talking about how we can learn how to take back control of our food systems by growing our own food indoors. Before I go to my next question, you got one or you good?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. Next question. You said in your speech, quote, food yields dipping as weather patterns change, end quote. We still have people amazingly pushing back against the reality of global warming, but would you say that's why we're seeing these food yields dip as it relates to the weather, global warming?
I wouldn't necessarily use the moniker global warming
Okay.
because weather patterns change.
Huh? Okay.
The weather patterns over a certain amount of years change. These weather pattern changes aren't specifically from human-led global warming,
Okay.
but just an overall cyclical pattern of change. This cyclical pattern is pretty much dominated by a couple of different structures.
Mhm.
One of those structures being the ocean currents. Every couple of years, we have a change that happens in the warm and the cold areas of the ocean circulations called the AMOC.
Mhm.
Now, when the AMOC changes, it changes the weather patterns as well.
Is that AMOC or AMAC?
AMOC.
AMOC, okay, got it, go ahead.
Then we're also looking at the sun. Now, anything that humans do can't be bigger than the sun.
Okay.
I mean, you can go on a chart and you can figure out how big the earth is versus how big the sun is.
Mhm.
And ultimately, the bigger item is going to have a larger effect
Okay.
on weather patterns.
Yep.
And currently what we're experiencing right now is a massive change in the sun on a 400-year cycle.
Mhm.
Now, the change on the sun in this 400-year cycle is we've seen it over and over and over again through different types of different civilizations over time. That once this 400-year cycle happens, we switch. We go from a climate that is hotter to a climate that is colder.
Mhm.
And we're starting to kind of see that now. If you haven't noticed, the hurricane season, number one, it wasn't that hot.
Mhm.
And number two, the cold actually came in a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So when they I guess before the summer actually happened, they were talking about, oh, it's gonna be the most active hurricane season. It's gonna be the most
Yeah,
active.
I heard that.
We didn't have
Yeah.
we
But
had
it's not over yet, right?
It's not over yet,
Yeah.
but we still only had about what, 3 hurricanes?
3 so far.
And then the cooling aspect, I mean, like when
Right,
last
yeah.
time it's been this cool in
Yeah,
September in
yeah.
Houston.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I don't really like to go off those monikers of human-led global warming because it's always something bigger than us that has more effect on our local systems.
Okay.
So being able to understand that the weather patterns change on cycles through the different types of momentums that we have in Earth, be that wind pattern changes, ocean changes, water cycle changes. Speak about water systems, right? Now, with this change that's happening in the sun and the overall AMOC distribution, we're starting to see that areas that have been desertified for generations have now started to become wetter. One of these key areas is Africa.
Okay.
Now, back in I want to say about 2015, where the weather pattern was still kind of, okay, the West gets a lot of rain, but the Africa doesn't. Africa's kind of dry.
Okay.
They started to build one of the largest dams in one of the driest areas. Now, 4 or 5 years later, we're starting to see Africa just get these huge deluges. I think it was the country of Chad completely flooded. Now, why was the country of Chad completely flooded? Well, Africa used to have these mega lakes, and as these mega lakes began to dry up, the community centers that were centered around these mega lakes, as the lakes dried up, they continued to follow the water in and in and in and in to where they are today. So where they are today are basically the very bottom, or I guess you could say like the middle of the lakes. So when you do get these huge rainstorms that happen and that lake decides, oh, I want to hold a little bit more water, all those community centers that have been built in there flood out. That's why we've seen so many devastating floods now happen in Africa, as we're starting to see them build more water retaining dams.
But that can't be a cyclical kind of thing that happens, right? That is cyclical. So that's happened before.
Yeah. So like, I think it's back in the 1600s, you can find maps that had lakes in the middle of Africa.
Wow.
Not one lake, but lakes. And you're
so what kind of cycle are we talking? Every 200 years?
So it depends. You have different cycles. You have a solar cycle, which is about 400 years. Then you have a AMOC cycle, which is about 100 to about 75 to 100 years. So depending on where these cycles converge, you can have multiple different cycles pile up on one another. And when you have these multiple cycles pile up on one another, it increases the magnitude of change. So you may get areas that have huge floods because the solar cycle is matching up with the AMOC cycle. The AMOC cycle is matching up with the water distribution cycle. And if, say, we have a huge volcanic explosion like we had about 2 years ago with the Tonga eruption put a lot, I want to say about 40% more water vapor in the air. So when we do get rainstorms, because Tonga put up all that water into the atmosphere, when the atmosphere rains out, you get more than an average.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was a hell of an answer, bro. Thank you. Did y'all get that? I know, right? Science. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Next question. You mentioned when you were speaking initially, bioengineered foods. For those of us who don't know what that is, what is bioengineered foods?
So bioengineered foods are formerly GMOs. They had to,
which is
genetically modified organisms.
There you
go. We kind of caught on to what GMOs are, so they had to change it up a little bit. So bioengineered is the new word that they're using. And now, as we enter into the cycle in which we're starting to see food yields decline, they're needing more GMOs or now biological engineered foods into the food system. Because
which is bad, right?
It's bad. Because number one, the amount of food that you're able to grow is shrinking. So with the amount of food that you're able to grow shrinking, they need to be able to put different additives into the food in order for it to either maintain its weight or at least be able to get enough. Honestly, I don't really know why they do it, but they want money. So
that's why they do it. But I'm just about to say money. That's why they do everything.
Well, it's a tactic, you know, because if you look at everything, you have soy in it. Soy that's what gives men like
breasts.
Like
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything is like, you know what I'm saying, it's a tactic to affect your system.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I would say money, power, and control. Well, I would say that. The two shades to that. That's a good point, but the two shades to that.
Wow. Very. I know to tack on to that. They introduce different chemicals into the food, knowing that it will not affect you for X amount of years
down the road.
So they build into the food system that need for you to go to a doctor for
That's
that
right.
type of healthcare.
That's right.
system.
Yeah.
So that's one of
That's
the
some evil
things-
shit, isn't it? That's some evil shit.
And you know, you one of those people who plan that, they be like, oh, you know, they might not even think it's evil, but they might think they just doing what.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they're not thinking, and they don't have a spiritual connection. Because if you understand it, because for me to hear you say it, I'm immediately thinking that's some evil shit.
Right.
But for a person that don't see it, they're not spiritually connected, so they don't have a clue. Yeah.
So they purposely, they know, like, it's, so like, to put it one way, right? They actually put cellulose in food, cellulose being bark, tree matter,
Okay.
right? So they know that they can put a specific amount of cellulose in food as filler, say like cereals and different things, before you actually get sicker faster. So I think the percentage is around about 40% per weight by weight. If they put anything over 40%, then you would immediately start to see detrimental effects on health because of the cellulose. We're not able to process cellulose. Cellulose is, again, like wood bark. So they know that if they put too much wood bark in there, it's gonna really mess up your system really quick. But if they put just enough wood bark in there, it won't affect your system for so long.
Right.
So that's one thing about bioengineered foods. The other thing about bioengineered foods is what they're doing with slaughter-free meats. Now,
slaughter-free meats.
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't sound like a natural thing, but all right, come on.
So
bring the food.
they basically bring,
isn't that so?
just like what we've seen with like Beyond Burgers and stuff, plant-based burgers, where in order to get a plant-based burgers, they need so many different ingredients, so many different chemicals in order for it to smell like meat, in order for the red blood to look like meat.
Yeah.
So
you know, I don't eat meat, but I stopped eating the Impossible Burgers and so I stopped eating them because of what you're saying. Because at some point, not only was I reading and learning about it, but I realized this is not natural.
Yeah.
This thing that's calling on burgers. Yeah, it tastes good as hell.
I like
Especially one from Burger King. They're impossible. They got an Impossible Burger that's amazing, man. But I stopped eating it because I know taste it one time, then stop.
Yeah.
It tastes just like a damn a Whopper. Matter of fact, they call it the Impossible Whopper, I think. Yeah, it is awesome. But I had to stop. It was like crack. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother. Good though. Try one, then get off the crack.
Well, see, I don't do the Impossible, but I do the Beyond. Impossible have soy in it.
It does, yeah.
But
I do Boca. I've been doing Boca burgers for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's much better.
Yeah. Well, it's been around longer, so I'm hopeful about it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Man. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I don't know what Boca is.
Really? Boca's
I
been
think
around for a minute, man.
right? That's just another brand, right?
It's just a brand, but I think Boca was out. It had to be at least. I think my kids were eating. My oldest is 28, so it's been out for a minute. Yeah, they're making it for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, no.
So real quick before you get to the last one, I want to read this. Dr. Sebi, you know who Dr. Sebi is, yeah?
Yes.
Dr. Sebi?
Yeah.
Based on what you were saying and what you are saying, this is a quote from Dr. Sebi. A society that keeps cures a secret so they can continue to self-medicate for huge profits is not a real society, but an insane asylum.
I mean,
That's heavy.
Sounds about right.
That's heavy. That sounds about right. That's right. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead. Had to get that quote in there.
No, you're definitely right.
Yeah.
Slaughter-free meats, when you look at what a slaughter-free meat is, slaughter-free meats is, now that they have the science to do this, they're taking different stem cells from different parts of the animal. So if they want a chicken breast, if they want a filet mignon, then they understand that they have to take this stem cell and this stem cell that is included in that specific part of the meat.
Yeah.
They have to put it into a petri dish. They have to put an accelerant in there for it to grow as quickly as they need it to grow. And this accelerant, well, when you look at the ability for an organism to experience massive growth in a short amount of time, what's the name for that when you have a growth on a human body or an animal body that balloons?
It's a growth spurt?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Oh,
So they're splitting stem cells and cancer cells together in order to grow these slaughter-free meats.
wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
not only are you going to be
Damn.
not only are you going to be eating the chemicals
Uh-huh.
from the GMOs that they spray or that they the chemicals that they include in the food,
Wow.
but now you're going to be consuming direct cancer cells, which is going to throw bodies into a loop when it comes to being able to remain healthy.
Yeah.
This is one reason why it is important
Wow.
to start understanding how to feed yourself,
Yeah.
because you got to think about it. We've grown up with a moniker of, oh, I don't know you. Why am I going to eat food from you? I don't even much know you like that.
Sure.
But we'll happily go off to the grocery store.
And you don't know them either. But you got a lot of trust. And that goes back to what you said earlier about the community that they're creating. What you call it? Agrihoods?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're creating these communities that has everything. It's self-sufficient, going to be gated. It's not for everybody. I'll be shocked if people with money, again, the people who I believe are going to space because they're trying to leave certain people here. I'll be shocked if they're eating these foods. I would bet money that the food that they're going to be eating, those with money, resources, is not going to be the same food that who can really eat out of the hood.
So what we're looking at right now, if we look at what's, if we
That's,
look at
that's a hell of a power move, by the way.
what?
To in essence, long-term poison the people who are needing that food because they can't afford the agri-hood. That's a hell of a
Well,
revolutionary chess move, man.
Even when you go to the agri-hoods, their main focus is not going to be producing healthy food,
Mhm.
because it's going to be a company that
Okay.
comes in and has to grow all the food for them.
Okay.
So that company isn't going to.
So it's not going to be healthier food, you would think?
It's most likely not going to be healthy food. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying off of what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
It's not going to be healthy. They're still going to use
Based on ignorance or greed of them, of the company, based on
time savings.
yeah. Can't be ignorant, so because they got to know. Yeah. So what you're describing, brother, it sounds like to me, it sounds like it's a national that this is a crisis of healthy foods availability. I haven't heard anybody talking about this on any significant level. Is there anybody in high public office, any place, talking about the importance of growing healthy food for populations?
Let me answer this with the previous answer I was going to go with. If we look at what's happening, I like to say that the globe
Mhm.
is a bunch of different farms, and each country has a very specific way in which they like to run their farm.
Okay.
So you might have democracy, you might have what Iranians have, you might have the European Union
Okay.
has in terms of being able to run their populations.
Yeah.
So eventually what happens is they all take cues from how to best run their farm from everybody else.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that's happening in the European Union is they're now telling their farmers, you have to cut back on the amount of cattle that you have because they're emitting so much methane.
Okay.
You have to cut back on the amount of chickens that you have because the amount of CO2 that they produce. So they're trying to curtail the amount of food the farmer, that a private individual can grow for themselves. In the meanwhile, they're introducing all these different bioengineered foods. I think they're actually starting to include things like insects, crickets, different types of bugs into foods now as well. I know, especially with the there's a brand I think called like Chickpea or something like that in Europe that actually includes crickets in their snacks.
Wow.
But yeah, but they're starting to curtail that back because they know that number one, they're trying to grab a tighter control over the food source, and you can't get no tighter control than to have all of the food come out of a factory, basically. Yeah. So to have individuals that are able to grow grow food in terms of vegetables do animal husbandry in terms of like cattle and things, different things like that.
Yeah.
They're trying to control all of that back in order for them to have more control over the food supply. Interesting thing about it is that they know that when they have a cow, right? A
Mhm.
cow takes almost about 5 years from birth to market.
Okay.
When they do these slaughter-free meats,
Mhm.
they're looking at anywhere between 30 to 60 days worth of growth.
Jesus Christ.
So they're
Somebody expedited. Gotta go.
yeah, they're
Wow.
focus is,
But that's scary.
okay, it takes 3 to 5 years in order to get a cow from birth to sell it off the market.
Yeah.
But we can do this in 60 days. Which one makes more financial sense? I'm gonna go with the 60 days.
Man, just the unnaturalness of that would make me want to run like hell away from that 60-day cow.
Right.
Even if I did eat meat. Because I know that the one that's not normal, and two, that's gonna come back to visit you
Yeah.
in some way.
Again, it's grown with cancer cells.
Well, you know, they already
So-
they already got the medications waiting for you to come back from the shelf. So anyway, let me get back to these questions. We got to wrap this up. I got 6 more. You have any questions?
No.
Okay, I don't hog the mic.
6 of them.
Yeah.
You rolling.
All right, I'll take notes. Okay. All right, next question. So I'm gonna try and zoom through these. Is there an ideal space size for an agricultural community development project? So we got a community, let's say in Sunnyside, Brother Ephraim. If he says, okay, I want what Eden Growth Systems does, I want to do this thing. Is there an ideal size for a community project to start growing its own food via your systems?
I mean, so put it like this. I would like to see any abandoned corner used for food production.
Okay.
I mean, even if you just put flowers over there and
Yep.
the community takes care of them, that's a shift in the right direction of investing more into your community. Because like you look at this lot over here that's right behind us,
Mhm.
and there's absolutely nothing going on, but it's sitting behind a gated fence.
Yep.
What difference would it make if we had that entire area planted with something?
Sure.
Something that just makes it look nice,
Yeah.
and you have individuals in the community that come in and are able to take care of it every
Right.
now and then.
Right.
Like that's an investment into your community.
Okay.
That's what we would love to see. As far as like specific size, I find that as a single individual, for me, when I was purchasing my land,
Mhm.
I pretty much segmented out anywhere between 16 and about 25 acres. That was
Okay.
kind of what I was able to do
Okay.
for myself. But like in a smaller community, of course, you're not going to be able to grab 16, 25 acres. Even 0.5 of an acre, and you put something down on that in terms of either food or some type of
Yeah.
community support
Kind of
investment.
start from where you are,
development,
kind of thing.
It's
Yeah. Kind of start from where you are, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Next question. You talked about the employment and economic opportunities exist, and I'm glad as you were right before you said it, I made a note. What kind of jobs are there? So that was a good segue. What kind of jobs per title can a young person look to get into as it relates to growing food for a local population? What kind of jobs?
Well, hopefully I can keep this one pretty short. So as long as you're growing food somewhere, you're considered a local farmer.
Okay.
When you get the moniker of a local farmer,
Mhm.
you can actually start to, as you're selling your food,
Mhm.
you can actually accept government benefits, SNAP benefits in order to sell your food.
Okay.
To where if you are in a food desert and you are growing food and you do know that there's a high amount of individuals that are receiving SNAP EBT funds,
Mhm.
because you're a local farmer, you have access to a program, not only the SNAP program, but you have access to the Texas Double Up program, which gives individuals on SNAP benefits double the funds in order to spend with local farmers.
Oh, wow.
So that's a very lucrative
Yeah.
job opportunity for the individuals that are able to begin a career in urban agriculture, urban farming.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at starting getting a farmer's market started next month or so. So it's definitely a plus.
Farmers markets are open to it as well.
Yeah, I would hope so. All right, next question. Your HISD work. And you made me chuckle because you said HSID twice. I'm like, HISD. I was laughing. Did you get that? I'm like, it's a Houston Independent School District. So the work with the kids, man, that's always a good thing. What has been the reception of the young people when you go to work with the HISD schools?
They're it's definitely a learning process with them. It's something that they haven't been introduced to.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of different programs that HSID has.
HISD. Houston Independent School District.
Yeah, that's what I said,
It's
right?
a HSID.
Okay.
As smart as he is. Yeah, we know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Like their school gardening programs have been kind of left to the wayside.
Okay.
So by the kids not really being interested in outdoor agriculture, we've had the ability to kind of bring them in.
Yeah, that's a selling point.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hot out there. Come inside.
Like this summer, right?
Yeah.
This summer was very. I didn't really like being outdoors this summer.
It was hot.
It was very hot.
Yeah.
But we have about 20 towers downtown that I was able to continuously produce from.
Okay.
Without having any issues of it's hot, I'm sweaty, I don't really like the
'Cause
sun.
you in the AC,
You're in the AC. So it's a little bit easier for them to kind of like maintain focus and kind of learn. And the best thing about it is that all of the skills that you would learn with the eat and grow systems is 100% transferable outside as well.
Okay.
You're growing food.
Yeah.
It's basically the same all around.
Yeah. And I would think that the growing of food is literally an industry that's always in need of people who know how to do it. Yeah. Okay. So real quick, I meant to ask this earlier when you talked about your growth towers being able to grow between 16 to 94 plants. That's what you said?
That's a single deck up to a triple deck.
Okay.
We have high volume trays as well, which you can grow up to about 2.5 acres.
So what is the largest thing that you can grow using your towers? Is it like a watermelon or something, just tomato?
We're working on the watermelons. That's going to be a little bit of.
Yeah, it's gonna be heavy.
Yeah. So right now, I actually have 2 cabbages.
Okay.
In the system right now.
All
So
right.
if you know anything about cabbage,
I know how to eat it. I love cabbage.
Had some the other day.
Yeah, I love cabbage, man.
So there's like two parts to the cabbage. You have the cabbage head and then you have the broad leaves.
Okay.
So with the broad leaves, like you're probably looking at something about from one arm to the other arm, about like that big.
Okay.
So that does take up a little bit of space in the system.
Yep.
So it shrinks the amount of coverage area that you have to plant plants. But I typically like to say that I use them as more of nursery units because I have the ability to grow faster than if it was outside in the dirt or if it was in a greenhouse.
Okay.
So I have the ability to plant and 2-3 weeks, take those out, put them outside.
Okay.
Have a new batch ready.
Oh, I got
Put
you.
them in,
Okay.
transfer them out.
So again, it just becomes a part of your growth cycling system as far as start indoors, move certain things outdoors. Okay, amen, cool. And also you mentioned with the HID programs, you talked about having, I think you said you guys have a program where you can put kids to work via the agricultural systems, correct?
Working on that.
Work, okay, because I want to know, does that mean you're always hiring? Because I would most certainly promote that, but I will stay in touch with you about that one because I think that's awesome. Okay, 3 more questions. You have any questions? 3 more. STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. It sounds like what you are doing as it relates to educating the youth, it sounds like you are covering all those bases. You're covering science, the technology involved. I think engineering could be the system, and of course the math is understanding your yield. So is that right? What you do covers every letter of a STEM program? Yeah. Was that on purpose or just happened to be that way?
I mean, like, so when we're educating on our systems, it's a very high technology piece of equipment. Okay. Coming from the spraying system, from all the different types of pumps, light sources, especially with the ECS control boards that we have as well. Okay. Where you're programming different languages into automation. Okay. All of that, we pretty much teach how to do all of that. Okay. So you not only get the technical side where you're learning about putting the machines together in terms of all the pumps and different things, but you also get the coding knowledge
Yeah.
to be able to control the systems, as well as the science background from being able to grow the plants in the system as well.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So is there any part of the system that you don't know how to run and or utilize?
It's really a straightforward type of system. I would probably say one of the hardest parts that I have is going on over to the science part, which is the nutrient basis that we
Mhm.
use.
Mhm.
It is a system that does have to have certain type of nutrients added to it depending on what plant that you're growing.
Okay.
So you have to understand, okay, I have to have this much calcium, I have to have this much nitrate, phosphorus in order for that plant to actually grow correctly.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Two more. How can the community help you do what you are doing with Eat and Grow Systems?
Uh,
Or Happy Camper Farm, is that right?
happy camp.
Happy Camper, okay, yeah, either or.
I would basically say, if you guys have a church, community
Mm.
center, or even just a community group,
Mhm.
please introduce us, to that. We could, work with each other in order to be able to, develop that agricultural program. Because we're located here in Houston, we can even put out some manpower when it comes to being able to help run and maintain those systems. If you want to help us pretty much be able to increase agricultural knowledge within the community and increase food yields within the city, that's going to be the best way to help us out.
Cool. All right, brother. Thank you very much. God bless. I appreciate you. All right.
Very
so
much,
give me-
man.
So one more question, which is for you. So I am always talking about the importance of us being connected as a community. I often say that everything we need, we already have, but we don't know because we don't talk to each other. A part of Thursday morning breakfast is not only finding young brothers like this who has knowledge and information that our communities need to survive, grow, and thrive, but we also meet new people who at some point will come out to be a part of Thursday morning breakfast. So I met an awesome young brother this morning. I'd like him to come out, introduce himself, talk about what he does, because what he does, you most certainly need, especially if you are a small business owner. So brother, come up real quick, give us a few words of wisdom as far as who you are, what you do, how you do it, and how people can reach you.
All right, peace, good people, peace. I'm Chad Green Bay. I'm from this area, not too far from here, north side of Houston, Texas. I do audio and visual, really any kind of media. I manage a recording studio in Fifth Ward called Wayne Street Live. And then my personal company is called Royal Vibe Studios. And yeah, I just help people in the community kind of get their stories out with the video. And then I also offer audio services, like if you need live sound or recording or anything like that.
Cool. Okay, brother, thank you very much. I
Thank y'all for
appreciate it.
having me. Yeah.
So on that note, we're going to say thank you guys very much for being here. Always remember two things. No one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the empowerment and freedom of Black people. Because if Black people don't make it, no matter who you are, who you love, who you care about, they're not going to make it because your people are making it. So on that note, God bless you guys next Thursday for the next event. God bless. Bye-bye.